If you've ever wondered why some adults feel most at peace wearing diapers or slipping into a babyish headspace, the answer isn't what you think. And no, it's not the scandal your uncle warns you about at Thanksgiving. This is psychology, not a punchline. Today, we're breaking down the real science and emotional mechanisms behind ABDL in a way that's non-judgmental, grounded, and human. So, deep breath, let's talk about it. ABDL stands for Adult Baby Diaper Lover. It's a broad umbrella term, covering everything from soft regressions for comfort, all the way to structured caregiver dynamics. But the number one thing to understand, these are consenting adults using a psychological tool. No minors involved, no substitutions, no gray areas. Just adults seeking safety, relief, and expression in a very specific way. Humans are weird. All of us. Some people stress bake. Some people run marathons. Some people buy 47 identical pens because it soothes their soul. And some feel comfort in diapers. Different accessories. Same brain wiring. Let's start with the biggest psychological driver, comfort. ABDL is often a form of regression, not in a clinical sense, but in a soothing one. Think of it like a weighted blanket for the nervous system. When someone is overwhelmed, overworked, or overstimulated, slipping into a simpler mental state can bring enormous relief. A lot of adults feel pressure nonstop. Work, bills, caregiving, relationships, responsibilities stacked like Jenga blocks. Regression removes the tower entirely. It allows fewer decisions, less performance, a break from adulthood, a controlled return to simplicity. A huge number of ABDL individuals are neurodivergent, ADHD, autism, highly sensitive personality types. Not because neurodivergence causes ABDL, but because neurodivergence creates a need for predictability, soothing sensory inputs, and emotional safety. Regression becomes a mask-free zone, a place where expectations disappear, a way to feel held instead of on alert. Many neurodivergent people grow up feeling too much or not enough. So the ABDL role becomes a sanctuary where the world finally fits. A little headspace isn't childish, it's adaptive. This is the psychological core. Humans regulate themselves through co-regulation. Originally, that means caregivers soothing infants, tone of voice, routine, predictability. In adulthood, some people recreate those soothing patterns consciously, not because they want to be a child, but because the rituals, the routine, the softness, the caretaking, calm the nervous system. For some, diapers are less about the item and more about what the item signals internally. You're safe, you're held, you can let go now. That's powerful psychology. Here's the part nobody talks about, the shame. So many ABDL individuals think, I'm broken, I'm weird, I'm the only one who feels this. I should get rid of everything and pretend it's not part of me. Then they purge, throw everything out, only to start the cycle again months later, feeling worse. The guilt doesn't come from ABDL itself. The guilt comes from isolation and misunderstanding. But the truth? ABDL people are often some of the most stable, compassionate adults you'll ever meet. They're parents, coaches, caregivers, managers, community volunteers. They're not dysfunctional. They just have a unique way of self-regulating. Suppressing that doesn't make life easier. It usually makes the need louder. ABDL isn't a barrier to functioning. For many, it actually supports functioning. Because when a person has a space where they can release stress, drop the armor, feel cared for, or let themselves be soft, they show up better in real life. More patience, more connection, more emotional bandwidth. You'd be shocked How many people thriving in their adult roles have a private ritual that lets them reset? If you're ABDL or love someone who is, here's what healthy looks like: consent and communication, privacy and boundaries, emotional honesty, self-awareness, no shame-based hiding, no fear-based purging. This is a coping tool. It's allowed to exist without being the enemy. It's not moral failure. It's not something people grow out of, like old shoes. It's a psychological doorway. A unique one, yes, but one that leads to peace, comfort, expression, and regulation. If we understood ABDL better, we'd stop treating it like a scandal and start seeing it for what it is: a very human way of coping with a very overwhelming world. If you are watching this, it means you're curious about ABDL, or you're trying to understand why the idea of regression, diapers, and surrender has such a powerful pull on certain minds. Either way, you came to the right place. I am Goddess Bella, and I don't do shame. I do clarity, control, truth. Thanks for watching. If this helped, feel free to share it. Understanding reduces shame, and everyone deserves a little more understanding.